And I believe that our power is always expanding, but it's our attitude on how we choose to tap into that untapped resource and continue to grow and evolve. It's going to make the difference between those who begin to soar and those who just sit back and watch things happen. Because if you don't have a conscious attitude about your power and where you are now, one thing I believe is for sure is that someone else's power is controlling you.
Build $1 million legacy with purpose.
Well, well, well. Here we are again. I I think this is the second us session of the new year,
Yeah,
Tamiko.
yes.
Is
Yes.
it? Did we
Yes.
say happy new year
Session
already?
we had a session wait, what no, we
It's so
had a session on New Year's
exciting.
Eve. We had a session on New Year's Eve. So yes, this is the first session of the new year. And
Oh
it's
my goodness. This is the first
listen.
session of the new year. Happy New Year, y'all. I am so excited to be here. 2025. Tamiko, can you believe it?
Yes, kind
Kinda.
of.
I
Yes,
love it.
yes, I can. I'm glad we are here. I am glad we are here. Um, yeah, this is amazing. Like it feels kind of futuristic. I don't know why 2025 just sounds Jetson-ish to me.
You know, that's interesting. One of my clients was saying that yesterday, last night, and she said something similar to what you just said. She said, I never thought I would be living to say 2025.
Hmm.
And here we are.
There we are. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, welcome. Happy
Yes,
New Year.
yes,
I
yes,
am Dr. Marnita on fire.
yes.
And I'm gonna start the year off right. I am a personal achievement and performance coach.
Awesome.
Um, so glad to be here. And I just want to say, I want to give y'all my word for the year.
Uh-oh.
I
Wait,
haven't even get to Tamiko. I'm gonna give
no,
y'all
you didn't. I'm linked in. Like, what we got?
what we got. What we got. My word for the year is belief.
Ooh, come on. Why?
My word this year is belief because what I know about myself is I have the room and the capacity to level up my belief in all areas of my life. And my intention this year is to level up on my belief on what's possible for me.
Nice. Awesome. I like it. I like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 That's good. That's good.
I love, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And to 2025, we are here. And I am Tamiko Ruby J, your spiritual coach and mentor, operating in several modalities and one being Reiki. You like the way I switched that up a little bit? And yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited. I was saying I just said to Dr. Morgan, like, whoa, like it's 2025. Now I'm not gonna say I didn't think that I would live to see 2025, but I think it's interesting um because it just sounds like a big deal. It is cracking me up. I also saw something. Did you know that Generation Xers, they said, are going to reach their 60s this year?
Wait,
That's what I
wait.
said. I said,
Isn't
huh?
it?
But
Okay, so
yeah,
I'm a baby, like I am a late baby boomer. So
right,
Generation X is after baby boomers?
right, right.
Okay.
And you think about it, we're 62-ish. So we are right on that border, right, of baby boomer and X. So think about that for a minute. You got a whole generation of boomers that started 25 years before. It's just an interesting concept. And I was like, X, wait, that's not what, okay. But all of that being said, so I'm going to piggyback what you just said. So you said your word for 225 is belief, right?
Yes.
Or did you? Yes. My word, because this has been resonating real strong and real powerful for me the whole month of December. And it probably just kind of was like right here the last 2 weeks. And my word is love.
I love it. Mm.
My word is love.
Okay, so when you said that resonated with you, what does that mean for you?
The word love.
Mm-hmm.
So you notice how I said the word love?
Yeah.
That love becomes this evolution for me because I've operated in the last several years of having love be a noun and not a verb. So now we're gonna get real trippy and have love be a pure noun and an authentic experience. Now I sound like you.
You sound a little bit like me right now.
Did that sound like y'all? Look, she wearing off on me. I'm getting like heady. Because what's been beautiful in all of this is recognizing that when you experience this thing called life as love, like you be love, like, right, it's easier to move about life and life experience, and more so with people. It has helped my practice become deeper, stronger, more blessed, but also it allows a sense of awareness to see life with more vibrancy. You know, I've always been an artist and could see color, but for a while that kind of faded, and that's starting to come back. And so being in a space of love, because I've always been comfortable with saying, "Oh yeah, I love me," but I had to sit and like, what exactly does that mean? What is that exactly? If you love you so much, why are you sitting up here all bugged up, face twisted because you cold? Because I'm cold. Yeah. But then I was like, because I'm cold, right? Like, so anyway, I'm this play on words, this understanding of experiencing love, like whatever that is, right? Whatever that is. Let's see where it can go, especially at this point in life. Yeah, it's cool. I was referencing something the other day, right? Because I was talking to a friend. It was a little younger, maybe mid-30s, right? And I was speaking of having had a session with somebody that was in Kenya. We were in session for 2 hours because of an app that allowed us to be able to communicate face to face, like we were Zoom, right? Marnita, I am old enough, I can use that word, where I can remember having a fiance at the time that traveled because he played basketball. Back in the day, we're talking 80s, when you made long distance phone calls, you could have a long distance phone call to Chicago that would run you $400-$500 if you was on the phone for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Just
You remember
imagine
that?
that.
Yeah.
And when this person went overseas to Australia and to Belgium, 15 minutes, $800.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, just think about that. We ain't talking about somebody international or working for some Fortune 500 company. We talking about this little black man playing sports for some intercontinental league, okay? And me working in the beauty industry or whatever I was doing and sitting up here with telephone bills that cost more than my house payment.
Some people will never know that.
Never know that. Never know that. And so that's where that whole 2025 and where we are right now, like, is nothing for me to send a text to Nairobi. You good? And it's 8 hour difference. They're eight, just the amazing energy of being in a space in my life where I'm in that, where I can remember two totally different times. When cell phones first came out and they looked like a shoe, that's how big they were. And then the
Yeah,
shoe
they
was in this
did.
box,
They
right?
came in a
Remember
shoe
that?
box.
And it was in this box. But you thought you was cold and you wanted that big shoe in the shoe box,
Carry around.
carrying
It
it
was,
around.
it was a status image.
Yes, it was crazy. And so
Yeah.
now, just being able to reference all of that. And so when I was talking to my friend, and they was like, really? Well, my mama didn't tell me my phone because they probably wouldn't call nobody like that. There was a time, think about it. All these different area codes we have in certain states, like the 216, the 440, the 330. There was a time if you were calling in the state,
There was a long distance.
there was a long distance call. So yeah.
And it's so nebulous as to when all of those errors began to change and move. Like we were totally, I would say, unconscious of the transition between any of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
just happened.
Yeah. I was a little more aware of the transitioning with the whole phone system just because my mom that was her career. So
Okay.
when Ohio Bell was no longer, or Illinois Bell, or any of the bells, right? That's what they're called, were no longer able to have a conglomerate on communication. And then the federal government made it where it couldn't be the all be all. That's when you started getting the AT&Ts and the this, and that's what changed the whole thing. And that was in the 80s. Okay.
Wow.
And I only knew about that, like I said, because I was privy to that, because that's was my mom's business at that time. But like you
Yeah.
say, other things, and what other things changed, because it did, it just changed, like, oh, this is what we're doing. And so it's so interesting now, because it took for things to change back then. I mean, just like back then when you had a computer, right? Think about it, Marnita. I don't know. Well, of course, because you was in school. So working on your PhD probably then. Imagine when you would write a paper on a computer back then. You
It
press a
wasn't a computer, it was a word processor
okay, see, there, y'all know what that is.
that I didn't even know how to use. So I'm
Exactly.
listen, I'm being honest.
I know, that's why I'm giggling.
I remember struggling as an undergrad at Baldwin Wallace College. Um, and one of the professors let me use his word processor. Like it was a part of the department. And I'm trying to figure out, because there are special keys for special things. I didn't know any of that. I still cannot remember how I made it through
Right.
because I didn't get that training in high school because I graduated at the bottom third of my class. I didn't get that training in high school. I didn't take typing in high school. So that whole home key thing on the keyboard, four fingers, home key, thumb, I had to learn that on my own after the fact, because what I realized is that this is the way typing, word processing is going. I didn't come familiar with the computer probably until I got to grad school. I was trying to figure out that, what did they used to call it? It wasn't, they didn't call it the Apple. They didn't call it the Apple
It
computer.
was
They didn't.
Macintosh.
They did call it the Apple. I was just trying to get
No, they
familiar.
called it Macintosh. They called it Mac, and they called it Mac, but they called it Mac for Macintosh. They didn't call it Apple.
Mac from Macintosh, right?
Yeah,
That one.
Mac from Macintosh.
So I had to stick with the PC because the whole Mac thing, and I'm having this conversation on a Mac notebook. So that's how far I've come, right? So being conscious of that whole shift, I don't know where it started, and I can't tell you, like, it will, what I know for sure, it will never end. We will always be
Always
shifting
evolving, shifting and evolving. Yep.
into
And
something.
that's the beauty in it. And like with what you were talking about, do you remember sometimes where you would put in all that work, right? You on that word
And
processor
lose it.
and lose it
And start all over.
all
Yes.
over after you get out the fetal position because you just done that for like words and words and words. We're talking thousands of words. Gone. Wasn't floating around in no cloud.
It was just gone.
Unless you was up there having extracurriculars in your dorm room and the cloud was in there from the smoke. But anyway.
Or unless you were saving, like, after every 5-10 pages on this. You remember those floppy disks? You remember those floppy disks?
Yeah. Back when we had cassettes, like you were streaming music, you actually had to, and we thought cassette was a big deal because you know how to had to have an LP. I know we dating and we sounded like Jurassic Park up
Ancient.
here, but
Yeah.
coming into this new year and the energy around this conversation right now is to remind people that life is ever evolving. And if you allow yourself the space to grow and to evolve and to expand and to heal and to look at your life and say, wow. Some of y'all might say, damn, but you could say, damn, and then say, wow. And allow yourself to, in this time, to embrace this because you made it. You are making it. Like you're here. We're having this conversation. How about manual cars that didn't have automatic locks? Okay, didn't have automatic windows. You rolled them bad babies down, like stuff like that. Back when you did not have to wear a seatbelt if you was a kid in a car. You could get in the back of the station wagon and you could get on that back seat that was facing this way. So you were driving that way. It was just like a beautiful thing. Yeah. And if you fell out the car, nobody went to jail.
Right.
For child endangerment or child abuse. You might have had some scruffed up knees, but you was all right.
You were good. You can go to jail.
You were good. Back when cars could be in an accident and the whole thing didn't fold and people go flying out the car. Like it was a different time when you could go outside as a kid, as a 5-year-old and play outside all damn day.
Be okay.
And nobody snatched you. You didn't come up missing. You didn't. You went to your neighbor's house and had lunch with your friends and came home and they had dinner with you. It was different.
It was different.
It was different.
You know, which speaks a lot to all of this unfolding. It speaks a lot to what our attitude had to be in relationship to the changes that were occurring in real time. It allowed us to tap into a potential, this is so good, that we didn't even know we had.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that our power is always expanding, but it's our attitude on how we choose to tap into that untapped resource and continue to grow and evolve. It's going to make the difference between those who begin to soar and those who just sit back and watch things happen. Because if you don't have a conscious attitude about your power and where you are now, one thing I believe is for sure is that someone else's power is controlling you.
Okay.
Like, if you're not conscious of the power that you have, then you are being subjected to somebody else's or some other thing's power over you. So I thought it was really important to have at the beginning of the year. I don't know that we planned it this way, but at the beginning of the year to have some type of um, realization about our conscious attitude of power.
Mhm. Okay. I want to
And
speak.
what does this mean in 2025?
Okay. Um, okay. I want to speak to something you said, when you said if you don't, how did you say that? If you don't grow, if you don't have a perspective, I'm paraphrasing now, of growth and expansion, then something or someone will have power over you. Um, and what I would say to that is, or another way of looking at that would be to say that you also get stagnant.
Mm,
So if you get stagnant, there's no movement, there's no growth. And
mm,
eventually, you know, you power out. If we want to talk about power, you know, because I know I was one that was real apprehensive about technology in my practice in the beauty industry. You know, now mind you, we was the first to jump out there, had a computer, had a whole this, that, and the other. But I always had a backup of a day planner written. I still write to today. Okay. Did that for years.
okay.
So to the point when I left town and was three fisting it with my iPad, my iPhone, and then broke down and had a Mac computer, people was like, she has been abducted by aliens. This is not Tamiko. Because have a very photographic memory. Don't forget much. Most people have to have everything, and I write stuff down, but still, it wasn't because of that. So to reference and speak to what you said about, um, if you don't allow yourself to pivot and have an attitude of growth and of expanding, um, that you will relinquish some power. Um, I could see how that concept could be had, you know? Um,
Mm,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I think it's, Mhm. I think so many people don't really know that they do give up so much of innate power just by not making a choice to do
Mhm,
something.
mhm,
Um, what I hear a lot of is What I hear a lot of is, well, lately, what I've been hearing a lot of is people, they are in complaint mode.
Mm,
Maybe this is not new. Maybe I have a heightened awareness of it. I'm hearing it more. And I've learned to listen better. And sometimes what I hope is that they can hear what sometimes I want to say, can you repeat what you said? Can you repeat what you heard? Can you repeat what you heard so you can hear what you said? Can you repeat what you heard so you can hear what you said? And oftentimes, I'll say something like, did you hear what you just said?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And simply asking
Every
somebody
time
to
someone
repeat that.
does that, they don't realize that they just have released potential of innate power that they had.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are seeping this power and becoming powerless by choice, maybe even unconscious choice. But at what point, since we were just talking about how things change and we
Mm-hmm.
don't even remember when they change,
Mm-hmm.
at what point do you recognize that's what's happening?
What's happening? Change?
Yeah, that you're releasing your innate power by just not making a choice to do something
Okay. See, that word "do" bothers me,
or to
and
be something.
but there's a big difference because when a person, like you hit on something very powerful. When a person is sharing their innermost thought or whatever is sitting on them in that moment, right? And oftentimes because you're a safe space, you're in the space with them, when you're luxury driving, and so they're releasing. How are you today? Ah, wow. Okay. That's how sometimes people sound to me. In Charlie Brown,
Ah,
it was to me is okay. I'm like, wow, okay. So what else?
mm,
And then at that point where they didn't regurgitate it out, whatever needed to get out, or they feel in a certain kind of way, I feel at that point where they feel as though they're being heard, right? No matter what all that is. But when they feel as though they're being heard, now they're starting to tap back in to power. Because we can lose power when we don't feel heard, when we don't feel seen, when we don't feel appreciated, when we don't feel loved. That makes us feel powerless. But all of a sudden, this beautiful person and picked me up in this bad A truck that played pickleball every day because you didn't say you played pickleball today. And you have to tell the audience that you played pickleball today. But when that person and you looking and you like, hey, how you doing? And she asked me how I doing, and then she listened.
mm.
Oh wow. Changes the whole dynamic. And then you say to them, wait, did you just hear what you just said? And then they have to think, what did I just say?
Right.
What did you just say?
What did you just say?
See, now we got some power playing going on. We got some goodness up in there. We got some change happening.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So this, I'm telling you, this we got to do better with hearing each other, being in that space, having the conversation, seeing people, letting people know I see you. You know, with little kids, I mean, one of the biggest, funnest games for little kids to this day is peekaboo. I see you. They be
Yeah.
cracking up.
Right.
We
Right.
still
Right.
kids at heart. We still babies at heart. We still want to be loved on. We still want to be seen. Peekaboo, I see you. People be looking at you like, really? And that's the fun thing about this love energy, is being able to have a childlike energy. This year is about fun. It's about being able
Be
to
able.
embrace love and be fun. So I'm not going to only have fun, but we're bringing fun to the table, right?
Yeah.
We bringing fun to the table. Do you even know how to have fun? I had my 82-year-old mama on Christmas. She ain't gonna like that I'm telling her age, so I ain't gonna let her see this episode. Playing, have you ever played that game, the card game, Citizens of Humanity?
No. No.
It's wretched. It is wretched. It is wretched. It is wretched, depending on your audience and who you playing with. It might get folks upset. Guess who the biggest winner after 2 games was?
Your mother.
My mama. My son was like, I will never view grandma the same again. I'm disturbed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was the best thing ever. And I was cracking up. I said, now you see who I know. This sweet little old lady, you know, this is her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she was in a place, because normally there ain't no way in hell this branch would have been playing and been looking at us like, where'd y'all get this? She was in it, winning. I said, oh, we should have been gambling.
Yes. Yes.
Blown away.
Yeah.
But that's what the essence of having true power. I feel that that's where it comes from. And
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? In the power and the presence of having released your shit. There I go. I said when I wasn't cussing in 2025, but that's fertilizer, just so y'all know. But there's a power in not sitting in that, man. Like, and I like the way you put that. You said, did you hear what you just said? How did you say that again, please? Because that was pretty good. I like that. Did you
Can
hear?
you repeat what you heard so you can hear what you said?
Can you repeat what you heard so you hear? And do they repeat it?
No.
Now, one time.
And that's my point. That's my point. They have to think, that's a hard stop for people. When you can't repeat what you heard so you can hear what you said, that means you're just talking just to make noise. You're not talking with intention. You're not talking with presence. You're not talking with intentionality. You're not talking with responsibility. You're just trying to hear some noise.
Okay. Or trying to release some pain.
Noise and pain can maybe, and you would know better than me, be synonymous.
Because have you ever been around somebody that's a perpetual talker?
It's a perpetual what?
Talker.
Of course.
Like they're just talking.
I can't. I can't.
I'm laughing because I'm like, I was getting ready to text you, Marnita. I was getting ready to text you.
Of course.
Hear what you just said. Like, did you hear what the question was? Like, you know, daggone well, you ain't gonna sit up there and be listening to somebody that's just regurgitating words. But if you're around somebody that's like that just like go and wait, and then if you stop them to get a word in edgewise, they go be like, yep, and they're gonna start right back up where they left off and keep going. Right?
That's true. That's true. But see, my response to those type of people, and there's a lot of them out there, is because I can't deal with the overflow of just inconsistent words, my mind shuts down and I stop hearing them.
Exactly.
It's just like a water hose. It's like a water hose of just words that they don't even understand. They don't even know what they're saying.
Oftentimes.
So I'll ask, because I really do need clarity. If I'm really trying to connect with this person, I said, can you explain what you just said to me? Like, what does that mean? And 9 times out of 10, they can't, because they don't even know what they just said, because there's no commas, there's no periods, there's no pauses. There's just run-on sentences.
It just run on words because it
No
was so
preposition, like nothing. I know.
I'm laughing because I just know people that this is what they do. And it's like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, so and I think it's really important that one, we're self-aware of our attitude around consciousness of our power when it comes to our own self-awareness, our level of presence, our intention, our responsibility, and our connection with the people that we are having, that we are engaged with at any given time. I know that may be a gumbo of a gumbo experience of getting all of that into the presence of consciousness and your attitude, which is this psychological orientation around a person, place, or thing based on your belief, emotions, and behavior. And I think that if we give ourselves an opportunity to begin to use that mixture to begin to unfold into becoming a higher level of person who can do some extraordinary things. And I think one thing that people are missing is that we are so wonderful and we are so powerful and we are so grandiose and magnanimous. Y'all know I play pickleball every day, right? So I didn't play this morning because it's cold here in Florida. But I do play every morning, minus this morning, and maybe minus tomorrow morning too, because it's gonna be cold. But I am a pickleball champion. I am magnanimous. I am wonderful. I am so dominating when I get on that court. You can't beat me.
Did y'all hear that?
Because I am a pickleball champion.
There you go.
I am so aware
of the entire state or a certain region or a certain, what we doing? Where we at? Where because they know where you at, right? Where you go every day and play.
I am an Olympian.
That part. Doggone it.
Don't play with it. I am an Olympian.
I get it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You're an Olympian. Yes. I'm just trying to build my skill level and my conscious level to be able to hover in midair. So I think we both are able to get to, you're there. You're an Olympian and I am a spiritualist that can hover in midair and sit in Indian position, 3 feet off the ground.
And you were talking about your word for this year as being love. I love being in this space. I like love is this whole creator of everything, right?
Mhm.
And it's really a process of um for me, it's a process of accepting that I was made out of love. Everything I produce is in love. Everything I do is in love. I love that your word is love. I love that your word is love.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Now you
um,
want to talk about an evolution? That's an evolution that has taken 58 years.
I love that your word is love. Um, Love is powerful. Oh, we're talking about power, right? Love
Mhm.
is so powerful. Um, it makes everything move. It makes everything be. So I thank you for sharing that word, love.
Absolutely. 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 And it was one of those where, because we all have our things that we do at the beginning of the year. And if you say, I don't, then start today,
You start.
today. Um, but when that came up as my word, and I was like, okay, where am I feeling that? Right. Because again, operating in a vessel of love being a noun and not a verb. The first time I studied that in a little more detail, it resonated with me strong. Um, but recognizing that it is the source, it is the energy, the synergy in which we are created, in which we operate in, and being that, you know, it has allowed me to really embrace the objective communication of, would you rather be happy or right? And I don't, well, happy I know is out here. So my thing is, would you rather have peace, okay, than be right according to someone else's mindset or concept? I'm like, hey, it's good. I'm going over here on my business and sit in love over here. We ain't doing that. Mm. So it just, not just, it is. It's being in that space is beautiful. And like you said, it allows a space for you to see things just so more clearly. And
Yeah.
trust me, it doesn't mean that every single day or every single moment is butterflies and rainbows. It doesn't. But the disdain or the discomfort or the disappointments will come through our life. They don't last as long. And I sure don't take as much. And I started this long time ago, but I really don't take it personal. It's not mine.
Yeah.
It's not mine. If I am in that space of being true, to thyself be true, and being in a space of love, like Wayne Dyer said, if you're operating in that space of love, if you're an orange, or you have an orange, right? And you squeeze that orange, what's gonna come out of it?
Orange juice.
Why?
This is orange.
That's it. So if I am love, and you squeeze me, what's gonna come out of me? Hopefully
Love.
love. For at least the first 30 seconds will be love. You keep squeezing, all bets are off. Because I'm still a work in progress. Well, we might get to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna remove myself from the situation if it's not in love.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because I think it's for everyone, it's important to love self. Um, Love self first. You
Mhm.
have so many, I think there's so many people who just don't like themselves.
Yes. Yes.
And you were created for a reason. So there are some skill sets and some gifts and talents and nuances that you have that someone else needs. Um, so by you not loving yourself, you can never give that to, like, you unplug yourself from the power of delivering what you were created to give.
Mhm. And if you can't give it to yourself, you probably can't give it to others either. And if you can't give it to yourself, I definitely don't want it.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. If you go, like, you think about it, right? You've ever been to a dinner or a dinner party? You can take holidays,
Yeah.
and the person that spent all that time cooking and cooking all those different meals and cooking all that and trying to get everything together for everybody else and trying to get together. Oftentimes, that person that cooked, they don't eat.
Oh, yeah.
And why
True.
is that? Because they didn't put so much into all that stuff that it is no longer advertising to them.
Mm.
So one needs to think about what they doing and how they showing up. And are you giving and doing and preparing so much for the table or the others that it is no longer advertising to you?
Yeah. Mm. That's good.
Okay. And those are the spaces when we talk about being loved, that you don't burn out like that. You're not giving it all away. You don't have to have so much control that you like, no, can't nobody bring no dish because they don't make this da like blah 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 blah.
Right.
Listen, if it's gonna be one less dish I gotta make, bring it. Okay.
Right. We have so much I mean, we live in an amazing world, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. We really do. Um, we have so much to glean from.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But and this is like being able to be in this time in life, being able to be at a point where and if you look at the world, it looks like we at critical mass right now. Like this is hell in a hand basket for some folks. Okay. And if you're watching the media, you just like, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
But
I
it's
don't
all
know because I don't watch, but apparently there's a lot of people who do.
yeah.
And the chatter that I hear going on, I don't know everything that's going on, but I do hear chatter of what's going on. And it doesn't sound good. I don't
Hmm.
even know what it is exactly. Like I heard some stuff going on, like in New Orleans and Los Angeles, and there was someplace else. Oh, in Jacksonville, Florida, like all this chatter.
Hmm.
I am so glad that I have chosen to like sever the cord of connection with like what's going on in media, news, and all of that, because I just don't have room to
And
absorb it.
right. And here's the other thing. There's also a level of elevation. You're not on that floor. So if you're not on that floor, it's not going to permeate your consciousness because you're not there. It's not to say that you know what I'm saying. It's like you don't have space for it because you're not in it.
Yeah,
It's just that plain and that simple. And even if it's brought to your attention, it's like, oh wow, okay.
that's what I do. I do just like that. Oh wow, interesting.
Hmm. And did you hear it? Oh wow, okay.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
So I have this framework. I always got
No. You got a framework. Okay. Or
for the consciousness, your conscious attitude of power,
mhm,
of things that, like, what you need to know And so know is the framework. K-N-O-W. Know is the framework. What you need to know. Know is the framework.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
So to know the K, first point, the K is for knowledge. Knowing that you have to have a capacity for the on-take of knowledge. Like it's a the sea of knowledge is so vast, there's so much. And I, for one, I'm a little greedy. I just want to dip in it, like and bathe in it all day long. So having a capacity of knowledge means for me is immersing myself in some things audibly or visually that's going to help me in my ascension, in my growth, in my development. Like I need to know that I have enough capacity for knowledge.
Mm.
The second point is need. Need. So knowing that there is a need for one to know thyself. It's not an option. There is a need for one to know thyself, not thyself in the past and not thyself in your projected future. To know yourself now, there is a need for that. And the third point of the framework of needing to know is that you know that you are an overcomer. There is nothing that can stand in your way when you have the power to overcome anything that tends to block you from getting to where it is that you desire to go. You are an overcomer. And the fourth point of this framework is W, which is wonderful. You know, the Bible says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are wonderful specimens of being. And the sooner we have the ability to consciously have an attitude of acceptance to that, our level of confidence goes off the scales. We are wonderful.
Awesome.
And that's how I want, that's the framework I want to give to everybody to start 2025 off with, to know.
No. So no.
Oh.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's very good.
So
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
got.
very good.
That's what I got for this conversation on the conscious attitude of power.
Of power. That's good. So we have knowledge. We have need. We have overcome. And we are wonderful. That's all. That's it. That's it. That's it. And the beauty in all of that. So we're bringing this in. This is interesting that that the framework for today and for coming into we are here. Today is the 6th or the 7th. What's today?
Today is
7th. We are on the 7th of January. So we are well into our way of 2025 and bringing in this framework of know, to know, to know. That is going to be the essence for for our audience today and for us to know, to work with the knowledge that we have, and that the knowledge that we seek, and that the knowledge that we give. To need that you stated, it was powerful. But what came up for me is also a need for nourishment, because knowledge is nourishment. Food can be nourishment. Life can be nourishment. And overcome, no explanation, no, what they say, no caption needed. You broke that thing down, but no caption needed. Overcome. And if you're not there, keep going. You'll get there. And then life truly is wonderful. And be very aware of what you allow in. Remember, the eyes are the window of the soul. So what you see, you will be. So what you see about, you be about. So just remember that, because it really can be beautiful. Life can be amazing. It really can. Trust me on this. Again, I'm excited about this year. I'm like laughing at myself, like, are you really? Yep. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Travel, sure. Community, sure. Collaboration, sure. Look, partnership,
Sure.
And mega success and opportunities and possibility. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This has been great. Oh my God. Today is we're closing out our season today.
Season 2.
Woo, woo. Wow, what a journey.
You know what, Marnita? I'm putting you on blast.
Me?
Yeah, a little bit. Because we have theme music in the beginning. We need some theme music on the end for season 3. I just put it out there, y'all. Did y'all hear? Put it in the chat if y'all think we should have theme music front and back end. And what I would like to say as we bring season 2 to a close is thank you. You know, Marnita, I think this process has been a learning experience. I know it has been for myself. It has allowed me to do something that people have been asking for years. Okay. And not necessarily that it was a no. It just was that's not what, I mean, I show up. Okay. And when I show up, we're going to talk on the front end, we're going to talk in the middle, we're going to talk on the back end. There's certain things about technology that is just not my wheelhouse. Okay. And that's the other thing, to thyself be true. It would not allow me the opportunity to be able to go back and watch the episodes myself if I was the one editing them. It would be a no for me. It would be like that person that makes that beautiful Thanksgiving dinner with all of the meats and 26 sides. I wouldn't eat for 26 days, but to thyself be true. So what I say to that is thank you. Thank you for, having this idea for this platform, having held the space, because you was holding space when I was sitting up there like, wait, what are we doing? Partnerships and shit. What? Huh? I thought we was going to be talking about wellness. What we doing? Huh?
Yeah. This is really involved into
exactly
different.
Into having the conversation.
Well, thank you again. Until next season.
Yes.
We got restore. We got some good stuff coming at you.
We do have some good stuff coming up. Some more.
We haven't even figured it all out, but it's coming.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, but it's beautiful. And what I would say to that, in 2000, 25 and rolling into season 3 and some new
Oh,
things to come. My word should have been accessibility, but that made me like feel like I was gonna have resources that it wasn't. So, but that ain't my word. Love is my word, but accessibility might be a little more available. We'll see.
all
So
right.
you have a good one, folks.
All right. Y'all take
Thank
care.
you.
Have an amazing new year, and we will see you next season.
We'll see you next season. Bye bye.